My business card meant everything to me. Today, it means nothing. I found it by accident. It was late afternoon. The kind of quiet where the house doesn't make a sound anymore. No television. No footsteps. Just the low hum of the refrigerator and the ticking clock. I never noticed when I was younger. I was cleaning out a drawer in my home office. Not because I wanted to, because I didn't know what else to do with the day. The drawer stuck like it always had. I pulled harder than necessary. Paper slid forward, folders shifted, and something small fell onto the floor. A business card. Thick, heavy, embossed lettering. My name. My title. The company logo printed in a color chosen by a branding team one once led. Senior Vice President. Strategic Operations. I stood there longer than I expected to, looking down at it, like it might say something new if I waited. It didn't. I picked it up slowly. My hands looked older than I remembered. Thinner. Veins closer to the surface. I tried to feel something. Pride. Satisfaction. Anything. Instead, there was just silence. That title once decided everything. How early I woke up. How late I stayed out. Which calls I answered. Which dinners I missed. Which weekends didn't belong to me. It told people who I was before I ever opened my mouth. Back then, when someone asked, "What do you do?" I had an answer ready. I was that answer. The card felt heavier than it should have, like it was carrying the weight of all those years. I sat down in the chair by the window, the one I bought after retirement, the one I barely use. Outside, the light was changing. Late afternoon turning soft. Shadows stretching across the lawn. I remembered the first time I got that title. The call came on a Tuesday. I was in my car, parked outside the office, hands gripping the steering wheel. I didn't tell anyone right away. I wanted to enjoy it alone first. I remember thinking, this is it. This is what all the years were for. That night I stayed late, not because I had to, because I wanted to be seen. I wanted the title to settle into me, like a new identity. Years later, here it was, on a piece of cardstock, lying in my palm. No office, no meetings, no one to hand it to, just me, and the quiet. I realized something in that moment, not all at once, not dramatically, just a slow understanding. The world had moved on without asking permission, and the thing I built my life around didn't follow me home. I placed the card back in the drawer, not carefully, not angrily, just gently. Then I closed it, and for the first time in a long while, I sat there, with nowhere I needed to be. I didn't chase the title for money. That surprises people when I say it, but it's true. When I was younger, I carried a quiet fear. Not panic, not anxiety, just a low, constant hum. The fear of being ordinary, the fear of being forgettable, the fear that if I stopped moving, I'd disappear. The title felt like proof that the years meant something, that the long nights added up, that the sacrifices weren't just sacrifices. I believed the title would give my life shape. Before it, everything felt temporary. Jobs came and went. People moved on. Projects ended. But a title sounded permanent, solid, like something you could stand on. I told myself I was building security, not just financial security, personal security. If I mattered at work, then I mattered. That was the belief. I didn't say it out loud. I didn't even know I believed it at the time. But every choice I made pointed back to it. I believed respect came from being needed. That importance came from being busy. That love would understand why I wasn't home yet. I believed time was flexible. that it could be borrowed, rearranged, paid back later. I believed people would wait for me to slow down, wait for me to notice, wait for me to show up when things calmed down. I believed success was a season, and after that season, life would begin. So I postponed things, conversations, vacations, silence. I told myself, just get through this quarter, just close this deal, just one more year. The title kept changing, growing, sounding more impressive, and every time it did, I felt closer to rest, closer to feeling like I had arrived. I thought one day I'd wake up and feel finished, complete, like the work of becoming someone was finally over. I didn't realize that while I was chasing that feeling, I was teaching myself something dangerous. I was teaching myself to measure my life by what could be printed on a card. And at the time, it made perfect sense. The cost didn't arrive all at once. It never does. If it had, I might have noticed. Small enough to ignore, quiet enough to explain away. Missed dinners became normal. Not showing up turned into a habit. Next time became a promise I stopped checking. At first, people adjusted. They always do. My wife learned not to wait up. She stopped asking what time I'd be home. Then she stopped asking altogether. My children learned the sound of my keys meant I was leaving again, not coming back. I told myself they understood, that they were proud, that one day they'd look back and see what I built for them. But pride doesn't sit with you at the table. It doesn't notice when you're quiet. I missed moments I can't describe now, because I wasn't there to remember them. School events I only heard about later. Stories that began with, "You had to be there." Over time, the house changed. Not suddenly, gradually. The noise faded first, and I didn't fight it. I told myself this was the price of responsibility, that this was what providing looked like. At work, the opposite was happening. My calendar filled. My phone rang constantly. People needed me. That felt good. Needed is a powerful word. It convinces you you're essential. But being needed isn't the same as being known. I didn't see that then. Years passed. My children grew without asking permission. My marriage aged quietly, not breaking, just thinning. And the title kept changing. New card, new wording, same feeling, always just out of reach. I was present everywhere, except where I was irreplaceable. Then retirement came. Not dramatically. No farewell speech worth remembering. Just a meeting, a handshake, a final email. Suddenly, the phone stopped ringing. The calendar emptied faster than I expected. The urgency evaporated. At home, there was space. Too much of it. I tried to step back in. I asked questions. I offered help. I suggested dinners. But people had learned how to live without me. Not out of anger. Out of adaptation. That was the cost. Not loss. Not punishment. Replacement. Life didn't take anything from me. It simply kept going, while I was busy proving I mattered. It took me a long time to understand this, longer than I'd like to admit. The title was never the problem. The problem was what I asked it to give me. I asked it for identity, for worth, for permission to feel complete. But titles don't know you. They don't grow old with you. They don't sit beside you when the house gets quiet. They disappear the moment you stop showing up. I used to think success was something you carried. Now I see it's something you share. The moments that stayed with me weren't in conference rooms. They were ordinary. A voice calling my name from another room. A hand reaching for mine. A question that didn't need a quick answer. Those moments were always there. I just believed they could wait. Time doesn't argue with you. It doesn't warn you loudly. It lets you choose, and then it remembers those choices. If I could speak to you now, I wouldn't tell you to quit, or slow down, or chase something different. I just ask you to notice. Notice what only you can give. Notice where your absence would be felt. Notice who knows you without needing a title. Because one day, the drawer will open, the card will fall, and you'll hold proof of a life that looked impressive and feel the weight of what it never learned your name. So if there's a moment waiting for you tonight, a voice, a knock, a quiet invitation, don't tell yourself you'll get to it later. Later is how I lost things that never came back. Was remembered for my title,